Sir, the main point when one talks of education in India, you must be aware of the fact that quality is becoming a huge problem, in the sense that in 500 top universities of the world, we do not figure anywhere. So, what precisely is the problem? And when one is talking of make in India, the point is that there is everybody ultimately depends on the quality. Quantity is not that material.
No, but quantity also matters, because Britishers started education not for teaching everybody, but for creating workforce for running the regime of Britishers. And therefore, during the freedom movement, right from Gandhiji, Tilakji, and Gopal Krishna Gokhale, and all top Congress leaders, and B.R. Ambedkar, and everybody, Mahatma Phule, Shahu, everybody started taking interest in education. That was a national education movement actually. So expansion was not interest of the British. After independence, we have done that, and in 70 years we have reached nook and corner of the country, and now there is 98-99% of enrollment. So that's a good thing. So expansion is also important, because access is important. But now the issue is of quality. And when I became HRD Minister on 5th July, immediately thereafter, in 1 week, there was Interstate Council meeting of all Chief Ministers called by Prime Minister after gap of 10 years. And that meeting, the one point which was discussed was about quality. And all Chief Ministers, not a single exception, stressed on quality, rededicated themselves for improving the quality of primary as well as higher education, and I think that's a good beginning. So now our whole theme is to improve quality. Sabko shiksha, achhi shiksha.
The point is that
and now how we are doing it? We are doing it systematically. Now there will be CABE meeting, and there is already proposal to improve the learning outcomes of primary education. So we'll put learning outcomes in rules of RTE, that after the first standard he must be able to do this. After second standard, the student must be able to do this. These are the learning outcomes. And those learning outcomes we will notify everywhere. So learning outcome is one thing. Second is, we can allow states to decide about whether they want to have exams or not, or whatever they want to.
वो तो आपने decide लिया ना 5th class तक.
Yeah, but that will require an amendment. But that is one second thing. More importantly, what we are saying is, as far as higher education is concerned, research and innovation was not a focus. Only teaching and degrees was the focus. We are changing it to bring out research and innovation.
Yes.
And therefore, Narendra Modi ji has envisioned education as the research and innovation hub, all higher learning centers. So we are bringing world-class universities. We are bringing industry academia interaction through Chatra Avishkar Yojana. We are also funding the research projects, nearly more than 300 research projects for various 10 sectors. Those research will also come out with many patents, I'm very sure. So that is also we are doing. And what we are doing is taking other interests, higher education finance agency, to provide 20,000 crore rupees in next year, so that the research infrastructure in the higher education centers will go up. So all these put together, it's a research innovation in higher education and quality right from the first standard, and even preschooling. That is our effort.
Now, there are two things here come. It's very, it's a wonderful thing, but there are two contradictions come in the way. In the sense, once you go on establishing, IIT in 25 or 50 places in the India, don't you think the brand value of IIT gets compromised?
No, I don't agree with that. Our country is a huge country. See, I went to Israel to attend the Peres funeral, Shimon Peres funeral. It's a country of 8 million people, and they are best of the universities.
Now the point is that you do not have teachers.
No, but teachers, you have to, that also we are taking up on an urgent priority. So those students who want to be teacher will be motivated to become teachers. There will be more freedom, research freedom, made to available, good compensation, and after 7th pay commission, I hope that there is really a good compensation, and more importantly, even at there will be in-service training, there will be pre-service training for school age teachers, and there will be, many states have come out with separate cadre for headmasters, where after 15 years of experience, at the age of 40-45, they become headmaster. So they can provide leadership for more longer time, not at the time of retirement. So there are many things which we are taking up, and I think that will.
But the second, sir, okay, sir. The second contradiction that I was not talking of is this: you have got this, policy of empowerment. That means effectively it means caste and reservation. It is not an economic. We may say it, but then in reality it is based on the caste. When you talk of this on the basis of caste, even in the higher education, there is a growing demand. The number of students will go up. The pass mark will come down. This is a thing now is happening in Delhi University law faculty. They say 20% we have kept, but still you must promote us, and then the government has to make compromises on that. Then how these things go along with this concept of quality promotion.
No, I will tell you, there are no two separate examinations for scheduled caste or scheduled tribe and general student. They have to appear for single examination. They are assessed and assessed in the same manner and without their identities being disclosed. So they are tested on
but they
the
get
same footing.
no marks like
No.
it happened in Roorkee.
No.
Roorkee, your IIT had to make compromise. They had to
No.
take back those students.
No, there is always a positive action which is needed for hitherto neglected sectors. We know somebody coming from a rich family or a very educated family to IIT, and somebody whose parents have never gone to school, and he has by his toil has come from rural area, tribal area, scheduled caste student or tribal student coming to IIT. You need to provide some more inputs. You need to make them acclimatize in the whole system. That's our responsibility, and we must do that.
Okay, let me finish, then you can start. What do you think is another thing, this politicization of the, education? Politicization in the negative sense. Politicization has got two aspects, positive as well as negative. The way things are happening, particularly in the central universities, like you talked about JNU, DU, that
No,
Hyderabad
actually,
University.
see, we have 40 universities, more than 2 lakh students, and there is complete peace, calm, and study-oriented atmosphere in majority of the institutes. In 1 or 2 institutes, if something happens, it's okay. But the issue is there need to be a democratic form of any protest. You can't detain the VC. And definitely when he is ready to talk, when he is inviting you for talks, when he is open for dialogue, dialogue is the answer. So students and anybody may have demand, but they must, and I am very happy this time DP Tripathi and many other JNU stalwarts opposed what students were doing to the VC, and he was made to go sleep on the ground and without food and water. See, that's not a democratic protest.
Prakash, when you took over HRD, it was very hot and it was full of controversies. But after you took over, it looks like everything has become cool and calm. What is the reason for controversies and what
Have you stopped suffragism?
No.
The so-called suffragism.
I don't think that. See, Smriti Irani was my predecessor. She did many good things. But let me also tell that I believe in dialogue. I'm into education for 40 years. I was Senate member for 12 years. I was in student movement for 10 years. I was member of Legislative Council in Maharashtra. I won two elections from graduate and teachers constituency. I was heading the planning commission and I was chairman of IT task force, and here also I was member of HRD standing committee. So overall I know the field, and therefore I'm always open for ideas. I'm always open for criticism also, and therefore we are carrying out. So there is no, this comparison is bad, that there was something problem earlier and now it is not. I don't agree to that.
No, everything, the HRD ministry was in news, That is why.
No, but that my comment is this, that I don't make discrimination on that. Yeah.
No, but what do you think? You think this, criticism is it legitimate? Your opponents say that the education is getting increasingly saffronized.
No, nobody is now doing actually.
Uh-huh.
This criticism was a fashion earlier, but it is not now, because I'm calling everybody. I'm meeting everybody. I'm taking suggestions from all farmers who are interested in education. I've called all the MPs on 10th of November to listen to their ideas. So we'll come out with the caucus. See, the 5 pillars of education policy for any country, and for our country particularly, will always be accessibility, equity, quality, affordability, and finally, the most important, accountability. So these are the 5 pillars on which we will have based our new education policy, and I think.
When is that coming? That what is the present state of the
I think
Subramaniam
Subramaniam committee was one input. They did good job, but we have received many more suggestions thereafter, and so there will be a committee looking into whole of the. Now it is nearly 2 years. We have collected suggestions throughout the country. We held more than Smritiji held more than 1 lakh village meetings and all district meetings. So they have done elaborate exercise. Based on that, the new committee will look into it, and then the draft will go to cabinet.
One thing here, everybody says that your government now is going to be nearly 3-year-old, but some very, very important and vital offices, they are still headless. You have not found people even to appoint right set of people, like people say ICSSR. You talk about research.
ICSSR,
it doesn't have a member secretary.
We have appointed member secretary.
You have appointed.
Yeah. And the chairman, when he will retire, there is chairman. So now we are planning to immediately post people and prepare for little early for the job, because so there will not be gap and vacancy.
Like some central universities, for instance.
There will be no gap.
VCs going.
No, but there will be no gap now, and we will fill up the post before it falls vacant, so that as soon as it falls vacant, there will be a new man taking over.
Okay.
Prakash, for 60 years, BJP criticized the education policy of Congress party and the education system, curriculum, and now the government is in power. So what is the real change, and does your government will do something to move in that direction?
See, every generation has right to review the policy. Last policy review was done in 1992. The policy of 86 was reviewed in 1992. So 25 years have gone. So now the National Curriculum Framework, that is there from 2006, 10 years have gone. So I think every generation, after every 10 years, you must review your things and make them more relevant. And that is what the progressive India and the modern India demands. And we'll do that with dialogue with everybody.
You think the allocation
is very good
on HRD,
yeah,
is it good enough?
It's very good enough. The Modi government has increased it phenomenally, and now we are spending 4.5% of our GDP. And let me make it clear, GDP is not in government pocket. GDP is in everybody's pocket. All put together, all bank accounts and all pocket, that is the money is and assets they have, all these constitute your GDP. So what all sectors have earned, that constitutes your GDP. So we are all, that's not in the government coffers. We are incurring 15% on education as far as central government is concerned. On state governments are spending nearly 20% on education. If that is the case, then we are spending a good amount. Now we have to increase the efficiency of every rupee spent on education.
Prakash, you told that you are giving more stress on research and development in higher education, but in private sector you see lots of them they are involved into commercialization. They are not doing any research or giving more stress on research and development in private sector. So what the government is really doing?
No. We want education and academia and industry interaction to be a live part, because unless industries put their request of their needs on education campus, the education will not come out with relevant solutions. And unless we come out with relevant solutions on academic campuses, we will not become centers for excellence and research and innovation. That's how foreign countries and Western countries have progressed. We want to do that, and we were known for that earlier.
Now, will you be allowing these foreign universities to open their campuses here?
See, I was member of the HRD committee when the UPA government brought the bill, and Oscar Fernandez was chairman, and we went through the thing, and we are given a suggestion that 200 best universities can have. But that time that bill could not materialize. Their own party was opposing it. Now, there is already twinning arrangement, and UGC and AICT are looking into it. But we'll take a view on this after some time, what can be done. But we are open.
Okay. Open to the idea.
Prakash, there is most of the growth of deemed to be universities.
No, deemed to be universities are 123. We want to promote good universities and give them more autonomy. And we want to regulate more not so good universities. So that will be our basis.
Actually, you should stop accreditation to them. If they are not
We will say when we finally decide.
The last question.
Last.
What is your agenda or vision in HRD really for in the education sector?
I think improvement of quality is the need of the hour, and to improve quality with learning outcomes at the primary level and with giving freedom to the states is another thing, and third is more teacher recruitment, vacancies filling, their intensive training, accountability, all are important.
These 5 principles.
Yeah, and 5 principles. So based on that, we want to create more meaningful education. That's my target.
Okay.
Thank you.